What is up, guys and gals? My name is Splattercat and welcome back to Battle Worlds Kronos. In this episode, we're going to start off by doing something that you guys are always asking me to do, and that is to do my upgrades because I always forget. And so we're going to go unit by unit and do all of our upgrades. So we're going to start with this bandit right here. You guys are always on my case about that, and to be honest, you probably should be. Let's do improved engine, I guess. We've already got loads of surface-to-air missile guys, so I don't see any reason. I'm a little weird about why we don't get improved firepower, but I think that might be because it unlocks like in a later mission. We'll go with, hey, you, stick. There we go. Let's just use this thing right here until we find everybody with an upgrade. This little arrow down here, you can use it to cycle through your units in case you didn't know that. Just in case you're playing along with Splattercat. Nah, nah, nah. Let's see here. Hunter, he's got a level up. He's already got improved armor. I'm going to give him improved engine, I suppose, because we've already unlocked steady defense. As I mentioned in a previous episode, you don't necessarily bring this actual unit into the next mission with you. What you do bring is a replicated person that uses the same permutation or combination of abilities. With him, he needs to go somewhere and get repaired. But first, we're going to capture this building. Oh, never mind. It's the same turn as it was before I stopped playing. Well, damn. Let's continue cycling through. Anybody? Buell. Oh, there's one. This guy's got to level up. I'm going to give him Squash, since we haven't given any of our Hydras Squash yet. But let's face it, who would actually want a Squash? Squash has got to be like one of the worst tasting things ever. Is Zucchini a Squash? Because I do like Zucchini. So I may be wrong there. Zucchini's pretty badass, but you gotta like deep fry it first. It's the same thing as okra. You gotta deep fry the hell out of that thing before it becomes edible. We'll give him a little bit of extra firepower. We'll keep on cycling through. Oh, he's got two. We totally missed him. We'll give him improved armor, and I'm gonna go with surface to air on him as well, even though I don't think we're ever gonna have to deal with airborne units in this mission. Alright, so I think we're good. Let's bypass the turn. I don't think Yurla's actually going to do anything this turn. We'll capture that. Let's move him up to here and we'll capture this as well. Oh, they have a harbor too. Well then, while I don't harbor that any ill will, I actually kind of want it. Now, he's still got a movement available. And we want to make sure we're utilizing all of those movements. That depot right there is not actually set up to repair our units. So I think what I'll do is with some of these busted ass guys, we'll have him use the repair kit. And we are going to use up every single repair kit at this location if they're available. How far can he shoot? I don't want to get shot in my face. You're not going to tell me? You're going to keep it on the LD? Okay, good. We're totally clear right there to pick up all of the repairs we might want. And I think this is going to be the more expedient solution anyways than actually running around. Yeah, running around trying to grab repairs out of all these buildings might take a little too long, so I think grabbing all these goodies off the ground while they're available may be the better option. These don't have anything like stored in them, do they? Nay, these ones do. Let's get our brand new hunters out. These are the brand new shiny wet behind the ears greenhorn hunters that we're going to be using maybe in the future. Let's start getting some of these quicker units off and down to the south too for the big assault that we're going to run off over here. I am semi-interested to see if maybe you can cross that bridge. We'll figure that out in just a minute. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Ho ho! Let's see here. He can fire out to right there. So I'll place him, and then in the next couple turns we'll get him firing on the enemy. This guy needs some repairs, and it was safe to go over there. Take all of these guys down into the south. Should be able to get there pretty quickly. And since all of these are completely tapped out except for that guy right there, and we don't have any repairs to do either, let's take a mule and we'll grab the remainder. Unless he needs... Okay, the mule is in there. Let's double click that. And the mule is going to offload the remainder of those supplies. Maybe take the mines with us too. And the ammo, why not? And then we'll unload him back. And what I would prefer to do here is I'm going to try and centralize all of the supplies that we've captured. So I'm going to go through all of these warehouses, bring them down to here, to this factory, so that we can keep pumping out units to hit this base. I don't know what terrible fate is going to befall us the second we come through here, but I'd rather go this direction. If I'm keeping myself truthful, something about crossing those little bridges right there just seems like a bad idea. It seems like it's really, really gonna hurt. Okay, and so now that everybody has been mobilized, looks like it. Let's go out this way. And this is the only time ever that I've wished... I see, that's what I figured right there. They've got that thing completely and totally blocked off. Doing a little bit of the old scouty poo. I think if I can get him to right there, he can fire on that gun and we can get it out of the way early. I'll have to see what happens when I deploy there. The infantry we're going to need later, but I think we're about done with all of our deployments this turn. If they try and come across the bridge this way, we are in deep doo-doo. Let's deploy him so that next turn he can start firing at things. He's going to get repaired. He's still out of range, which is fantastical. Not to be confused with fantasticals. We'll move him up to here to capture that, and then... Oh, he already used his move. There's nothing stored in that depot either. Let me get my mules out of the way. With this big guy right here, we can do 150. I think I'm going to build some Hydras. Yeah, that's looking pretty badass. A couple more Hydras to rain down missile fire on our foes and make them just weep giant tears and be like, "No, Nerd Castle, please stop wounding us." Be like, "No, the wounding shall continue." Because we're not merciful here at the Nerd Castle, especially not with the Yerla Corporation. I heard that they like little girls, and so we're just going to roll out on them super hardcore. Now let's continue the downward movement here, but I would like to make a unified front to press up this way. I don't know what's down here, and I'd like to capture it. So I'm going to peel off a few of these units to go down that way, and we're going to try and pincer one more time when we go down and in. Leave no enemy unscathed with the bullets. And we'll worry about getting all these guys. He has level ups? How did this happen? How did I miss you? I cycled through everybody. I know I cycled through everybody here. I have that feeling. It's more than a feeling. But anyways, we're not going to get into a rock and roll conversation here. We're going to let that be before I just get on an altogether embarrassing tangent. Move those guys down to the south. Looks like we got 4 bandits. That's okay, we're gonna need some tank backup, so maybe bring one of the Praetorians. Actually, let's bring these 3 right here. We've already got enough armor on that front. We'll bring these 3 down with us. We'll bring these 2 Hydras down with us as well, because they've got artillery backup. The Hydras are now produced. Oh no, they're not. Never mind, next turn they'll be produced. What's that mule doing? These guys are ready to roll though. And that leaves me with not too much left to handle. I'm going to leave these 2 units here just to blockade this if they have to, in case the enemy decides to get spry and tiptoe through the tulips with this bridge. I don't think they will, but we'll see. I think that leaves us... Oh, I almost missed these 2. Come on down, gents. Everybody's welcome in this party. Alright, so that's officially everybody. There we go. So next turn he'll be able to fire there. We're going to move this line forward. As always, to make sure that our artillery is not going to be molested. We would like it untouched. We don't want to break out any of those dolls and be like, "Where were you touched, artillery?" They'll be like, "Over there." He touched me on my barrel. Which is, of course, the worst and most sensitive place you can touch an artillery piece. In case you didn't know artillery anatomy. Okay, we're good. Let's bypass... maybe? Let's move them down. Why not advance if we have the chance to do our dance at the Space Jam? Okay, I'm happy with our configuration. And Zetan! Okay, so nothing bad happened to us. Let's fire some artillery off with that cannon, because we really can't make any sort of advance until he's gone. I might be able to steal that factory while we're in here, but I don't want to be a douche like that. There's nothing left there to steal. I want to start firing at that artillery piece as well. Let's grab the leftover supply out of this place. Deploy all of these cats out. Sorry, all of these hydras, which are decidedly more reptilian than kitties. Over here, we want to make sure that we're capturing this harbor, because there could be any manner of goodies in there. Hopefully a few units, maybe? That would make me very, very pleased. Pleased as pie, I guess. Is pie pleased? I don't know. I wouldn't be pleased if somebody shoved me into an oven. So I can't fathom why pie would be pleased about that situation, but it might be. We've offloaded there, so let's take all of their gear. And I'm going to leave him loaded in for now, because I'm not... The only way I can unload is either to these spots, and I'm going to leave it alone for... Actually, no, we'll do that. There we go. So now he can jump on out, so next turn he can loot that place. Over here, we've got a bit more supply ready to go. So we'll take 15 from there. There's 30 rounds in there. I can't carry all that, so I suppose we'll just bring... I guess it's an all-or-nothing deal. We'll leave it then, so that we can reload our artillery pieces once we have to. And after reallocating all the supply down to the south, I think I'll be happy with the way we're moving along. Let's take all of these guys and move them down to the south to take up the front lines as we advance around that way in kind of a dipper motion. Just dipping them out because we can. We outnumber them pretty heavily now. I was looking at our stats and we've killed like 69 of their guys, giggity, versus like 4 of ours that they've killed. I'll let them have that Hydra because they don't have a Hydra down here. And I realize I'm probably going back on the word that I gave you just a second ago as to which units were going to go to which front. It's okay, don't worry about it. It'll all be fine. Alright, so we'll end that turn. Firepower on the harbor. What do we have? No whammies. Ew, that's awful. Alright, well, we did the secondary goal at least, which means we'll get ourselves an achievement. One more shell and that thing should be gone, and our artillery has gotten a second level up, which is going to be, ooh, improved range o' fire. Absolutely. Hell yeah. That's going to be really, really useful down the line. I'm excited about that modification. It almost might be worth kicking off a battle over here and seeing if they can hold the line long enough. Let's do it. Let's see if we can hold the line over here and bait a fight. I doubt that they're going to be coaxed away from that artillery piece, but we can sit here and kind of wiggle our tanky behinds at them. Just see if we get away with it. Move him into here to grab the remainder of that supply, and then we'll unload him one more time. He's been unloaded, so we'll throw him into there. Grab that supply over here. Ooh, we don't have any supply in there. Weak, and then we'll grab that crate last. We'll bring everything down here to the south so that we can centralize our production. And everything should be kosher beyond that point. And if we really, keeping on with our kosher argument here, if we get lucky as locks, we should be able to rain down just a pox of fire on our enemy, which would make me very, very stoked. Because there are few things I like more than crushing my enemies and seeing their machinery driven before me, I guess. Let's continue firing on that piece. He's leveled up too. Increases firepower. That probably would have been better used before all of this. We'll see what they do. I'm almost certain that I can capture this without getting hit. So that's what I'm gonna do. Where's my other infantry at? Infantry? Well, I need to cycle through. I don't know where my infantry's at. Oh, they're up here at the harbor. Derp. Okay. The trucks are not unloaded. I don't know who's gonna have to bite the bullet and grab that, but somebody's gonna have to. Let's get our hydras into place. And this should be a reasonably short battle, I would think. I don't think they have too much left over here. They've got to be fairly close to a all-around rout. Alright. It's getting a little cumbersome moving everybody around. Let's end the turn, and we'll see what these guys do. Oh, they are going to advance. Sneaky, sneaky. He's gonna redeploy. Yep. Okay, well, we'll move that to there. Shoot our shot. To quote the soundtrack of Sleeping Dogs. God, that song was awful. And in the interest of fair play, I'm going to invite all of these gentlemen to a battle. Now then, my terror is that these trucks are going to meet with an untimely end, so I'm going to get them away from there. And it's at this moment that we want to make a strong push from this southern point to really kind of punish them for attacking us there. So let's move this line. And we're going to go for a deft pincer, which is the type of pincer you might find on an especially practiced crab. What I would prefer is to force the deployment of that artillery early. Oh, can he make a shot from there? Tell me you can make a... Oh, you are killing me, Hydra. That would have been the most amazing Mac Daddy of moves. That would have been the move right there. That would have been the move that made your career, and now your career has just been unmade. You are destined to be peeling the potatoes from now on. Not the most glamorous duty. Let's get in here and pick some fights, instead of sitting back and picking our collective robotic noses. There's even more over there. What's going on this side? There's like a bridge with some barricades. I'm almost worried about what might happen should I kick off this battle. I don't know what's going on over there. And there's that flanky damage put to good use. Over here, this guy's gonna falter. I don't have any replacement unit for him, unfortunately. I wanted to swing somebody else into that position, but I don't think it's gonna happen. They're pretty wounded, so I don't... My estimation of their damage dealing capacity is going to be fairly limited, except for this Cerberus right here. He's going to have to deploy, and next turn we're going to be on him like sticky on a sticker. God, what a terrible metaphor. That's a simile. What am I talking about? Be on him like sticky on one of those pokey plants in the desert. There we go. My poetry is complete. Awful. Simply awful. I'm gonna have the tanks go through this forest right here because they don't tend to get they don't get much foresty action. And so we want our tanks to get action in the forest. It makes them feel better about themselves. It helps them feel fulfilled, self-actuated, a psychiatrist might call it. We'll end the turn and let's see what horrible... Yeah, he's now dead, but on the plus side, we've blocked off... Oh, they're gonna back off. I hope that's the Hydra that I gave Squish to. Could have thought about that shot first, but no, you cannot force my hand. I'm gonna bait the remaining group of guys down here. Maybe see if they'll come this way. I don't know if they will. Our tanks are about to hit them from this way, though, so they might as well make a decision. We're going to want to think about how we want to deal with that artillery before we go much further. But we've already dealt with that turret. Maybe we don't need all these guys up here, I don't think. Yeah, having all these guys up here almost seems like a little bit of a waste. I also have to decide... Move him to right there, and we'll take a shot at that artillery because I don't like the way it's looking at me. Let's move our Cerberus into position and take a shot at that turret, which is going to get a counter blow. I'd also prefer to get somebody on that bridge. So that we might think about dealing with some of these problems. There we go. So that's a little bit better. I'm playing a tad more carelessly right now because I know we've already won. I'm not too concerned about conserving resources anymore. I'm gonna undeploy him and move him up a tad. We've already lost the units we're gonna lose. We'll pull all these guys back so as to avoid weird happenings with this little bandit right here. Sounds like a nickname a grandpa gives somebody. You're my little bandit. We will capture that factory. And it's got 100 resources. Let's make some more infantry bots. We haven't built a lot of infantry. And we need more infantry so as to capture more efficiently. From there... our choices are not so grand. Nonetheless, we do have some. There's nobody left over there to fiddle with. We do have our mules, so let's bring them down and see if we can get them situated in a factory to offload and get us some more heavy units. There we go. So there's 50 more. And I believe this is a great spot to break off the episode. These files tend to be a little bit larger when I render them out. I don't want to run into any weird situations where I lose episodes. So I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for joining me for Battle Worlds Kronos, which is always fun. I've been having a blast with this game. I'll see you in the next episode. Take care out there, everybody.